What's happening, guys? I hope everyone's good. Here we got Sadiq calm, doing what he does best, not answering questions. And in reality, he gives people from Pakistan a really bad name, because no matter how many times this question's put to him, he just will not answer it. He just swerve and divert and bounce around the question and stall for time every time it's put to him, which tells me I've got some Muslim friends who run a restaurant, devout Muslims, but they just don't perceive the Quran how a lot of people perceive it, as a book of war, as a book of control. Sharia law does not agree. They do not agree with Sharia law. They work a very good business in various restaurants. Very, very nice people. And say, for instance, say if he was the mayor, if this question was put to him, he would acknowledge the question and he would come down on grooming gangs like a ton of bricks, like any man should. And he wouldn't be afraid to do it because he's a Muslim, because he does not agree with it. So it tells me Sadiq Khan must agree with this. But listen to the areas, the counties, how widespread this is. Have a listen to this.
On to people that are victims of these rape gangs that I will keep going on, and I will continue, Mr. Mayor, until something happens about this. You've made previous assertions that London does not have the same type of grooming gangs as seen in Bradford, Manchester, Leeds, Sheffield, Newcastle, Middlesbrough, Blackpool, Keighley, Halifax, Huddersfield, Blackburn, Barrow, Nelson, Birmingham, Nottingham, Coventry, Leicester, Derby, Aylesbury, Ipswich, Chelmsford, High Wycombe, Peterborough, Barking, Bristol, Banbury, everywhere. But
Wow, that is unbelievable. This is one for the great extreme left. What have all them counties got in common? Right. I'll tell you what they've all got in common. They've all got a very high rate of migrants who's entered this country illegally. Population are populating all them areas. That's what they got in common, and that's what my beef is about. No more, nothing else. I do believe in a free world, a world where everyone get along. But I don't agree with people who want to come to a country not to escape the terrors of their country, because they're coming over here and then they want to inflict their own laws in our country, which tells you they're not here to work with us. They want to work against us and want us to bow down. We've got all that carry on, haven't we, with the prisons. Zara the Sultana outside prisons protesting because they're on a hunger strike, saying about human rights. What about the WPC's human rights, who probably was on a job she shouldn't have been on, and someone hit her with a sledgehammer and broke her back, never going to walk again? One of the people who's on hunger strike is the person who inflicted that. Another one, aggravated burglary. Aggravated burglary, what that means is that you've entered a property, a house, and the people are actually indoors while you enter it. And I don't know what the other people are in there. I know them two offences are there, both severe, nasty, horrible offences. Disgusting. And people are going, oh, they want human rights. Fucking hell. It is just, we're going soft. Anyway, let's get back on point.
in London, are you sure that we do not have the same gangs like the rest of the country?
Joe, that's not quite what I've said. What I've said is echoing the words of the Commissioner now, and the Assistant Commissioner, I think Matt Twist, on previous occasions. They've both explained that there are serious issues in relation to child sex exploitation. They've both explained that there are a variety of examples of children being exploited, including grooming. And they've both explained, and I've echoed, that I've asked them to make sure no stone is left unturned. So they're going back 15 years, as they've been asked to do by the National Inquiry, using the wide definition given by the inquiry, which includes, when more than one person grooms a young person, but also includes intrafamilial, peer-to-peer gangs. The particular focus of the police in the recent past, for obvious reasons, has been around county lines. And I think the Commissioner couldn't have been clearer when the member asked him a similar question at the last plenary.
What the fuck is he talking about, this geezer? What is he talking about? See what I mean about him, right? It's got no relevance to anything what's been asked to him. He's fucking unbelievable. This geezer here, I do not like this geezer in any way, shape or form. I think he's the most snidiest, slimiest, horriblest, money-grabbing bastard you could ever meet. That's what really hurt me with him. Parking tickets at the top of it, with the congestion charge. He had the Mayor of London, and I had 3 lots of 80 quid. I like to pay it to this cunt.
The member will continue to ask questions because every day that goes by, other girls and sometimes boys are groomed. Every single day. I still don't think you realise the impact your being so rude to me just under a year ago had when you said, "What does the member mean? What is she talking about?" You knew damn well what I was talking about because it's been going on for years. You're the mayor of this great city. It's going on in London, and every day that goes by where we haven't got an inquiry in place, these girls and sometimes boys are suffering. And yet, if they look at your comments on it, you don't take it seriously enough. There should have been an inquiry put in place a long, long time ago. And you can look fed up with me asking if you like, but you better get used to it, because I will not stop until we've got an inquiry in place and these past cases are looked at and resolved and these girls get some form of closure.
Well, Chief, I can be given a similar time to respond to that question slash speech. So I'd remind colleagues that when Alexis J undertook her inquiry and made a number of recommendations, not one of them was actioned by the previous government. In the meantime, victims and survivors were waiting for justice. I'm really pleased this government asked Dame Louise Casey to look into this matter. Dame Louise Casey recommended another national inquiry. I'm really pleased this new government has ordered that to happen, working with the NCA and others. I've been quite clear to the Met Police Service, we've got to make sure that victims and survivors receive justice, which is why I've asked them to go back 15 years, as the National Inquiry suggested, look at the wide definition provided by the inquiry to ensure no stone is left unturned, but also during my mayoralty, what's happened. I asked HMI to come in and look at the Met Police Service to make sure that they were treating children properly. We've got a child-first approach from the Met Police Service. There is a proper children's strategy. We've made sure tens of thousands of police officers and police staff have been retrained. We've invested in victim and survivors.
I was talking specifically on grooming gangs. You know full well we're on a clock, Mr. Mayor. You know full well you just run it down, which is despicable since you just never want to come and answer questions properly. I'll leave it there because of my time. Thank you, Chair.
Unbelievable. And I've got to say, I tip my hat to this lady, Susan Hall. She is relentless on the cause of getting justice for the victims of grooming gangs. And you know what's sickening and all? When you look into some of it, one of the young girls, when they brought it to light and went to the authorities, they actually said to her she was racist. They tried to put it to her that what she's doing now is racist. And when you hear the girl's story, it will bring a tear to your eyes, right? A young kid, and this is how they were treated. Told, oh, if you do that, people's going to think you're racist. It's using that race card is absolutely fucking disgusting. It's sickening. And this cunt here, Sadiq Khan, just will not acknowledge it. Even years ago, this was in lockdown, I think it was David Curtin put it to him and said to him about it, and Sadiq Khan answer back then in 2020 was, oh, you're only asking me that question because of my religion. blah, 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 and swerved out of it that way. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Like a year ago when Susan all got on him, Sadiq Khan was trying to push her more and more, hoping that she'd say something what he could take out of context and use the race card against her. It's fucking disgusting. And people cannot be backing this. All these left-wing liberals who are out screaming from the rivers to the fucking sea and singing all these fucking songs. Although Palestine, you can't blame them. It's the Pakistani migrants who seem to be the ones who are really into this child grooming and calling them fucking scum. And it is. Listen to the story of one of the victims. It's out there. Find it and listen to it. And what's the actual Rotherham inquiry? Right, that's on YouTube. Google it, the Rotherham inquiry into grooming gangs. Have a listen to that. I think it goes on for about half an hour. Have a listen to it and how it was covered up by high-ranking police officials. And big up to all the police officers who walked out of the job that day, walked out. And I'll tell you now, again, when you listen to that, that'll bring a tear to your eye. And it's fucking disgusting. And any person who can't seem to acknowledge this, it don't matter where you're from, what religion you are, right, it's unacceptable. And this country has got its rules that 16 is the legal age for sex. Me personally, I think that should be up to 18, because there's a lot of difference between a 16-year-old person and an 18-year-old person. And everyone knows that because we've all been 16 and 18. And there's a lot of difference between how you think at them two ages.